Hey, welcome to episode 2 of the Two Average Guys podcast. Just a couple dudes talking about sports and everything happening in the sports world. So my name's Samuel Blumberg. This is my co-host, Espen Evanson. And we got some exciting stuff for you today, yeah?
Yeah, we definitely do. We're going to start out with some NBA talk. Going to talk about playoffs and whatnot, mid-season baseball analysis. And then we have a little bit of NFL news to talk about as well. We got some other sporting news from various sports, from golf and Indy 500 and a little college football talk. And then we have a new top 5 list we're going to be doing each episode. So
yeah, awesome. To begin with the NBA news, happy Kobe Day, August 24th. In my mind, the second best player of all time, Michael Jordan's number 1, Kobe number 2, the 8 and the 24. You could retire both of those numbers, and I think both of those numbers alone would be a Hall of Fame career, to say the least.
Yeah, I would definitely say he's top 5 all time. I don't know about second all time. No disrespect to him at all, and no disrespect to his legacy. I mean, he was one of my favorite players growing up, and it was just. Yeah, I think it's special what the Lakers are going to do tonight with the jersey too. Wearing the Black Mamba jersey. So yeah, it's definitely a special day for even if you're just a casual basketball fan. It just still doesn't feel real that he died 7 months ago.
Yeah, I think it was 7 months ago and a couple days, something like that.
On my birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, so 7 months and 2 days. 6 months and whatever, 28 days. Yeah, something close anyways. Now shifting in and go ahead and playoff basketball. Obviously the Raptors and Celtics ended their series yesterday with the sweeps over the Brooklyn Nets, who should be an exciting team next year. And then the Celtics beat the 76ers. Embiid could leave? Go deep? I think so. Not this season maybe, but if I'm Embiid, I think they might blow that team up.
Well, what they need to do, first of all, is get rid of Brown as their head coach.
Yeah,
Brett Brown's gone. He did rebuild the team. They were complete trash 7 years ago.
They remind me of the Golden State Warriors. You remember when they were building up and everything? They had Mark Jackson. They made the playoffs, and that's as far as he could take them. And then they brought in Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr, elemented it. He took that team that was good and on the uprise, but he took them to the extra level. And I don't think with Mark Jackson as coach, or for Philly it would be Brett Brown. I don't think they're going to pass the second round.
I think they need to add another piece to that equation, because they have Ben Simmons, yes they have Joel Embiid and
Tobias Harris. Al
Horford. Yeah, but Horford's on that. His career is about to come to an end, and Harris is on the back nine of his career. But you got to. I think you got to get some young talent in there with Embiid and Simmons.
Yeah. Could we see possibly a Ben Simmons trade? He's good. Don't get me wrong. Ben Simmons is a really good player, but he's hurt.
He can't go a season without getting. He can't go a season without getting injured.
So it just makes me curious. Is this the top? Is this as far as we're going to see the team go? Could they elevate it? Could they go the extra step, go to conference finals or even NBA finals? But I just don't see it. I don't see it in them. I don't think that Brett Brown's a good manager. I don't think. The East is an easy conference compared to what it used to be.
Well, it's definitely gotten better.
It's gotten better, but it's not the West.
It's not the West. Yeah.
Next year we could see the Mavs miss the playoffs because they're 8 better teams. They missed by 2 games. In the East, we see teams like the Hornets get in as the 8th seed, the Wizards. It's so not shitty, but you know what I'm saying. The teams that shouldn't be in, that are first round exits.
Yeah.
But that's that. More playoff action. Luka.
Your boy.
Luka.
The Mavs.
He is the same age as us, except he's hitting threes, game winners and shit, and we're sitting here doing a podcast.
We're sitting here talking about him doing all that stuff. So
we're sitting here talking about him doing that because we can't do that.
No.
He is. I still think the Mavs can win the series. I think Paul George, no disrespect to the Clippers, they're a good team, but Paul George, without him, performing, I would say even average level, there's no way that I mean, you have Kawhi, don't get me wrong, but you need scorers. And Paul George was brought in to be that scoring threat, and he's not that threat. I could see the Mavs.
The Mavs have been my surprise team in the playoffs. I thought the Clippers were just so stacked with Kawhi, Patrick Beverley, and Paul George. But I mean the Mavs. They just got this. They got this swagger about them that they're just. They're on cloud nine right now. They just. I really think they believe they can get by the Clippers. And like to switch topics a little bit, going up to the Utah and Denver series. We may see a Utah Dallas semifinal matchup, which would be
absolutely.
Which would be remarkable.
Do you remember back in March when everyone wanted to fucking kill Rudy Gobert? Rudy Gobert, he goes around, he touches the mics, he's messing with everything, and it's just like, fuck this guy. And now the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, they're studs.
Yeah.
They're studs.
Yeah,
John Stockton and Karl Malone, obviously, those are great players, but
different team.
Oh, Jazz. Yeah. Now, my thing is, you look at the Mavs and you see them. They remind me of the team that won the finals a few years ago. They were such an unknown team. They had Tyson Chandler. They had Dirk. Don't get me wrong.
Jason Kidd.
Yeah, Jason Kidd. It was this team that was a bunch of no ones, and I still see okay, could we have one of these teams to throw in either LA teams or Houston's obviously very talented in every such way, but I think a team could easily beat Houston, but I could see the number 1 and number 2 seeds. Okay, they're in trouble.
Yeah,
it's not as easy as the path.
Yeah, I definitely. The Western. I thought the Western Conference was going to be pretty much chalk. We were going to get the top 4 seeds into the semis, but I still am really high on the Lakers. I just think with LeBron's a little bit biased to LeBron, but he's taken over that series. I think most people expected that.
He had a great game the other day. Typical LeBron fashion in the playoffs. He somehow elevates his game. Playoff action today. I believe last time I saw was the Bucks that were beating Orlando.
They just won. They
just won. Yeah, so that's not a surprise. Orlando took the first game last year against Toronto. Bucks seem to have no problem now. I think the other games today, I think the next one is the Heat versus Pacers. Heat are up
3-0 right now.
Yeah, they're going to sweep.
I think they're going to sweep. And then behind me, I got Houston, Oklahoma City on, and it's a 2-point game. Houston's up early, but we'll see what's going to happen.
Houston's up what, 3-0 or 2-1?
It's 2-1.
2-1? Yeah, I think Houston. I really was hoping for the Clippers, not the Clippers, the Thunder. CP3. Yeah, CP3 Thunder is what I was trying to call them, because he's the only player on that team other than Steven Adams. But it's just, I think, Houston's too much, ready for takeoff.
Yeah. When I do some draft lottery talk.
Yeah. Let's do some lottery talk.
Yeah.
Wolves won the first pick.
That was
I would trade it. I think that, I would trade it. You have Russell, you have Towns.
Going back to what you said about Ben Simmons, I could see a Ben Simmons going to Minnesota.
Yeah,
and then Philly getting. Would it be crazy something like that? Yeah,
because they need a scorer, and I couldn't imagine them putting Embiid and Karl-Anthony Towns. That'd be crazy. But I think, I have the list right here. If I had to guess, say the Wolves do end up picking. I don't really know as many. I guess Anthony Edwards.
He seems like the most versatile. I think he's 6. He's like a 6'8", 6'9". Versatile guy. He can play any position possible. I think that would probably be the logical choice. Whoever picks.
That's my prediction. If the Knicks don't, hear me out. I could very much see the Knicks giving up their 8th pick this year, and then their first rounder next year, and then some kind of maybe Dennis Smith Jr., some shitty player. But I could see them trading because, it's New York and they're failures as of right now. And the truth be told, no one cares about the Knicks. Warriors at number 2. I don't really know what they need. Do you want to get ready for when Steph and Clay leave, or you go for a guy like James Wiseman? I don't really know.
Let's pull out the crystal ball here. I think the Warriors are gonna pick LaMelo Ball. We're gonna have a ball. We're gonna have a Ball brother in the Bay.
Deal with that attitude. Deal with the brother. the brothers' attitudes and then the dad's attitudes. It's
well, we know Lonzo is a bust. Lonzo is a bust.
I wouldn't say Lonzo's a bust. Lonzo's a consistent 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assist guy.
He has the worst fucking shot of all time.
He changed it a little. He changed it slightly. He changed it from like the side thing to like
Did he though?
someone pulling up. Like, don't get me wrong. He was overhyped by his dad, and everyone fell for that shit. And that's the Lakers' fault when they drafted him.
But I think we all knew, like, even like when LaMelo was in high school, he was the most talented out of that group of.
Yeah, I would say
he had the most potential.
I would definitely easily say that he's the number one. He's the number one out of the three. I mean, it goes probably LaMelo, Lonzo, and then LaMelo. I don't know. LiAngelo. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but he's like, he can play in like Greece or somewhere, not in the United States.
I also wanted to give a shout out to a couple teams, a little bit of Charlotte Hornets, who finished 9th in the East and ended up with the 3rd pick, which is a little bit of a that's definitely a steal. I mean, and then how about the New York Knicks, who just get screwed over again? They're always terrible. They can never get a top 3 or 4 pick. Like, they tank and they end up getting like a 6th to 8th pick every year, and they never pick the right guy. And they traded Porzingis away.
I think 2 years ago, last year they selected Kevin Knox, who, like, I'm not a huge college basketball fan by any means. Like, he's not a number 1 overall player. At this point, they're better getting Nick Young just because he's Swaggy Pete. Like,
I mean, the best pick they've had in the last decade was Porzingis, and they traded him away.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you how horrible of an organization they are.
I would hate to play for the New York Knicks. Don't get me wrong. It's, it's the mecca of basketball. It's everything. It's New York. It's the bright lights. But, like, imagine going into a team that switches their coaching out every year. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
They're a dumpster on fire, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, I see a team trading up. I could see the Knicks trading up, and maybe top 5. I could see him drafting LaMelo. It's his name. He has the bright name. And I don't know if he'd be a star there. I don't know. But it should be a very interesting draft.
Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting draft. I'm looking forward to it, and after the playoffs get done.
Because it's not like, the NFL draft or something like that where, like, we knew Joe Burrow was going to go number 1. Like, we know Trevor Lawrence most likely going to go number 1 next year, pending, obviously, nothing happened to him. But, like, basketball makes it a little fun. Like, Anthony Edwards would make sense. But LaMelo has the name.
And James Wiseman, I mean, he was a top recruit out of high school. I mean, you could...
Yeah, for 14 minutes he played.
Yeah, exactly. So...
And then they're like, yeah, you penny paid for your house, buddy, or you're moving or something. Like,
yeah.
Penny paid pretty penny to get you.
Yeah,
like, that's sure. On you. MLB, obviously, mid-season.
Moving on to baseball, yeah. Yeah, we've hit that mid-season point. We've been playing for, what, a month? And it's already here, mid-season. I mean, this is crazy that the 60-game season is going by so fast. Yeah, we can go. I mean, if you want to go like division by division and just like go like AL East across the board and start in the AL if you want.
Yeah.
Start with your Yankees.
Yeah, we'll go with the AL East. For my, I guess, playoff predictions, because it's the top 2 teams from every division get in. So
and then we have two wild cards.
2 wild cards, yes. So if I had to guess, I would say the Yankees and the Rays. From the AL East, I don't get me wrong, Baltimore has, a little bit of swag right now. Same with Toronto, but it's nothing. I can't see them. They're still paying. Baltimore's still paying Chris Davis, I think, like $30 million a year to strike out. Must be nice.
Yeah.
And then the Red Sox. Oh, sorry, Red Sox.
Yeah. Can we talk about the Red Sox for a second? How they've just shit the bed. I mean,
yeah.
But I didn't. I mean, they may be the worst team in baseball.
And like, the truth be told is, don't get me wrong, they gave up Mookie Betts, but like, they shouldn't be this bad.
I mean, they still have Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, and then they have guys. It's just like, how they suck, man. It's good because I can't stand them, but it's just.
I mean, you're jumping for joy.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun seeing Boston lose, and I love Boston. I like the city of Boston, but their teams, Patriots, mixed reviews about them. I think I like the dynasty. AL Central, your Royals not looking so pretty.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Actually, the expectation was so low for them this year. So I think we've actually a little higher than my expectations. I mean, we're sitting at 11-17 right now.
You have a better record than the Red Sox.
Yeah, and we're still like not completely out of the wild card. I would say there's less than a 5% chance we get it, but like, I mean, we're only like 5-6 games out. I mean, halfway. I thought we were going to be like not even have 10 wins at this point in the season. So I mean, we're young. We're trying to develop the pitching and whatnot. So I think in a few years we could get back up there and compete for the division crown.
I mean, this was a team that won the World Series 5 years ago, maybe. Yeah. You got your little 1-year World Series fan and get out of there. If I had to guess, I would say the Twins. My surprise team is the White Sox in second. Indians will get one of the wild card spots.
Yeah, I think those three teams are actually I think we'll get the Twins, Indians, and White Sox in the postseason. So
they're all pretty good teams. Then you have Tigers and Royals. Rip. The AL West. Fuck Houston. We were told to use less cussing. But screw Houston, man. Come on, like, I can't respect a team that does all that, and like the fact that like the Angels are suffering. Rip to Mike Trout and Ohtani.
Free Mike Trout. Get him out of LA. Get him out of Anaheim. He needs to go somewhere else.
What's shitty? It's like you're not the Los Angeles Dodgers. You're like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah.
Like you have to add a city within a city. Like.
Yeah. That's when you're. Yeah.
Like it's like.
Yeah, I was gonna say the AL West is. I mean, they're not. I mean, it's gonna be the A's and the Astros, of course. I mean, the other three teams are just struggling almightily right now. So, yeah, I think. I mean, the A's have been known to make the playoffs, and they just never seem to ever get far in the playoffs. So maybe this will be their year.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I like the A's from Moneyball. Obviously, back 2001, 2002, but still a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
The NL East, I love how the Marlins are sitting in second, but they've played like significantly less games just because, it's win percentage. So, right, if you play like 30 games or 45 games and, you go over 500, it's win percentage. Thank you, MLB. The Marlins in the playoffs.
Do you think they're going to be able to make up all these games that they missed? Because, I mean, they played 22 games, which, I mean, they've been able to catch up a little bit, but, I mean, there's still 6, 7, 8 games.
If I'm them, I don't want to catch up.
That's a good point. I mean, your winning percentage ain't horrible right now. It's sitting at 500.
Yeah, like you have the Phillies in last, so I thought we're probably going to be winning that division. The Nats in second, or second to last. Juan Soto's only good. Him and Max Scherzer, but like if I'm the Marlins, I'm like, no, I can't do a doubleheader. Like,
yeah, the Nats.
Did we say we had to play the high COVID, right? Like, yeah, we can't play.
The Nats, the Nats have that World Series hanging over. You see that with a lot of teams. They don't look.
Part of that, yeah.
And I think they were such a surprise team. Like nobody thought last year that they were gonna go on the run that they did.
Yeah, I mean that always happens. Like that's the thing. Like you always get like the surprise team who goes on a run, and then they end up fucking up. NL Central, Cubbies. Hell yeah.
They're definitely. I've always been a Cubs fan behind the Royals. They're probably my NL team. If I do. When the Royals suck and they have for a while, I've always liked the Cubs. So
I like the Cubs because of Wrigley, and I mean, I remember the days when like Starlin Castro was on that team and like Alfonso Soriano. So when they were dog shit, it was still a fun team to watch because you knew they were gonna lose, but it was like how many runs by.
and the Cardinals. You said the Marlins have played significant. Cardinals are like hold my Budweiser.
Yeah, seriously. They played 17 games.
They played 17 games. Like, what? I mean, the Rays, I think, have played 30 right now. And I mean, there's 13 games.
The Dodgers have played the most at 30. And then the Cardinals are sitting here at 17. Like, how the hell are we going to make that up?
I don't see. I mean, we have a month of the season.
You think that's going to be an advantage? Like, I could see it being an advantage come playoff time. Like, you're getting into the groove. You're mid-season. So in a normal season, it's like, okay, you'd be in July. And July is a hot month. I mean.
Yeah.
And I mean the Cincinnati Reds, like they're a fun team to watch. Brewers, fun team to watch. Pirates suck, but that's Pittsburgh sports for you.
Yeah.
Like I mean simply. And then I will say this: NL West, Dodgers are fun. Dodgers are a fun team to watch, but they're like Oklahoma football.
Why are they good?
they're good in the regular season, right? And then they get to the playoffs and they're shit. And if you've seen Oklahoma football in the college football playoffs, what happens?
Every year Oklahoma gets the 4 seed, they lose by 30 points.
To Alabama or Clemson.
Or LSU, who remember the LSU game where LSU put up 60 points at halftime, and Joe Burrow had 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was just slinging the ball. I mean, you remember when Baker Mayfield grabbed his nuts in front of Kansas fans and
how could I not forget that?
Right, and then he goes and loses to a team by 30, and it's be humble, man. That Kendrick Lamar song, be humble.
Definitely a tough scene for Baker on that one.
Yeah, he took a little bit of an L. Padres, I think.
Padres are fun. The Slam Diego Padres. I mean, they're a fun team to watch. I've Eric Hosmer plays for them. I've always been a huge Hosmer fan, so I'm happy he's having success there too. I would love to see the Padres go on a little run here.
I wouldn't mind it. I think that they. So we're going to talk about surprise teams here. I think Padres. I mean, I look at all the teams. Yeah. I think Padres. Looking at the list, no other team makes sense. I guess maybe the White Sox, but Padres are my surprise team. What about yours?
I would definitely say the White Sox, the Orioles, because the Orioles have been so bad the last few years. I mean, they've been bottom of the AL East, and now 500 is a good season for them in my opinion. I think that's definitely a great season. So I would definitely throw the Orioles in that mix.
And especially if the MLB does decide to do a playoff bubble. I think if they do end up doing that, they should go south because that's where the ball carries. I mean, when it's humid out and the baseball carries more home runs, I think that's better than, not doing a bubble. Going up to Yankee Stadium in October, September, it's cold as balls out. Nothing much exciting.
I think what's going to happen, I think they're going to go south, but they're going to go west. I think we're going to get we might get 2 or 3 stadiums. I think I can definitely see them playing in Houston and Texas. Maybe not Houston because their ballpark is just so stupid. But
and you can bang trash fans there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so you got that going. But I think of course, I think Texas, they just built a new ballpark. I think that'd be a really good place. It's indoor. I mean, I think they have a retractable roof. I can see and then I would see places like Arizona hosting indoor. You could even take the roof off there. It would be pretty mild in October for playoff baseball. So
they should go to Cuba. Go to Cuba, Mexico.
Have the cartels be the fans.
MLB's no fans, and the cartels
They're standing outside the stadium. They're just standing outside the stadium, just watching.
Yeah, so that's always fun. And talking about postseason bubbles, the NFL is considering it. They had a little COVID scare.
Boy, oh boy, over the weekend. If for those of you who don't know the story, there was a bunch of tests. So what I read was they have 4 or 5 labs spread throughout the country for the teams that they send the COVID tests to. And there's one lab in New Jersey. I believe it was either late Friday or Saturday morning or some time frame around there. There was a lot of guys who tested positive. I think it was a 2 or 3% positive rate amongst some of the teams in the East Coast. I saw the Jets had a decent.
The Bears had 8 players. Imagine being a Bears fan and you find out your own players that. Hey, they made something between the posts. It was called COVID test.
Oh my God. Yeah. I would say my question to you is this a sign of things to come during the season, since they're not going to have a bubble in the NFL? And I mean, we're only 2-3 weeks away from opening.
We are 2.5 weeks away. It is September 10th that opening day is kicking off, and that is 2 weeks and 3 days. What happens? My thought is in mid-November or whatever, mid-October. Okay, you test someone after their game on Sunday. Well, shit, it comes back positive. Okay, so now they have to quarantine, but it's football. So you're close to guys. Now they have to quarantine. Is this a 10 days? Is this a 14 day? And say it's not. Say it's a 3 day. Well, then you can't practice during that week. And now you're expecting to go out and play another game?
Yeah, baseball is easier because you can make it up with double headers and you can reduce the games. But NFL, you can't play 2 games a week. It's not safe.
Yeah. Is there some guy playing, some team playing only 12 games in a season?
And you can't have that with the NFL. That'd be incredibly unfair to the other teams who have to play 16 games. So yeah, it's going to be. I think it's definitely going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen with this season.
I mean, hopefully there's a season. Obviously, you know, safety is a priority, but having a season is always great. If you are to have a season, you're going to want Earl Thomas on your team. Maybe
or not. Or not. He gives you the playmaking ability, but he is a distraction off and apparently on the field too.
You see all those boxers coming back. I think he's like seeing that, and he wants to train with them. I mean, he got mad at his teammate. Something about, I guess, either a missed coverage or an interception. Anyways, like slams his helmet on the ground and he punches his teammate, and the Ravens are like, yeah, no, like, how are we supposed to let you back on the team if you're gonna punch your own teammate? Like, where could he go? Is Dallas the lead? Like, do you see him going to any teams?
If there is a team, it is the Dallas Cowboys, because they have been known to get guys who are troublemakers.
Let's settle down. Okay. I could see him. There's a few teams I could see him going to. I think, you know, Cowboys are definitely up there. I think 49ers up there, and I say that because of Richard Sherman. My other team is, well, I guess there's a couple more. Seattle. He'll pair up with El Prez. And then I don't know where Chris Richard go. Chris Richard used to coach the Seattle defensive backs when it was the Legion of Boom. Hell of a coach, was coaching the defensive backs for the Cowboys. He got released. But, like, do you want Earl Thomas on your team? Is he worth the trouble? You know, it's like the same guy like Antonio Brown. Like, is he worth the trouble?
I don't think he's not at the level of insanity.
He's not crazy.
Antonio Brown is insane. I hope he never comes back in the NFL. I was an Antonio Brown fan for a while until all that shit went down, like last year with the helmet thing.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, it was that. If he can just get, I think, be in the right environment, he can have the right teammates, get the right coaches. I think he can finally settle down and, I mean, make his football his true, people know him for more about what his football is rather than off the field incidents.
Yeah, Bill Belichick will go pick him up. You know, the typical Bill Belichick thing.
Yeah, that's of course.
You know, football is obviously huge in America. Other countries, football is soccer. The UEFA Champions League final, Bayern, Munich, Kings over the PSG, 1-0, and it was in Lisbon, Portugal. Bayern obviously very deserving of it. No, they were very easily the best team in Europe. Also, I'm not a PSG fan.
I don't think many people are.
You know, I don't understand how people are. They literally just they brought in money and they bought players. Like,
and cool, Neymar's not. I mean, he's one of the least likable soccer players.
I can't stand that.
I mean, Neymar would be good in the NBA. I mean, he's so good at flopping.
Yeah.
I mean,
he'd be an excellent flopper.
He'd fit right in.
He's like a penguin just flopping around. A little bit. Now I'm gonna pass it over to you. Let you get into some golf action.
Yeah, golf lovers paradise. Here we go. Recapping the weekend. First event in the FedEx Cup playoffs wrapped up, and it was a brutal beatdown in Boston. Let me tell you, Dustin Johnson shooting 30 under par, almost breaking a PGA Tour record of most strokes under par, which was I saw it was 31 under by Justin Thomas and Ernie Els a few years ago. But Dustin Johnson winning by 11 shots, which is, I mean, you just don't see that in today's game with golf. There's so many competitive guys. He moved to number 1 in the FedEx Cup standings, moved to number 1 in the world. He's racked up now. This is his 22nd PGA Tour win. So I think I would say he has a great shot to win the FedEx Cup this year. U.S. Open's coming up in a few weeks too. He's won the U.S. Open before. I think I think he's definitely got his game in the right place. And then another golf story too. Phil Mickelson just turned 50. He's going to be teeing it up on the Champions Tour today.
The gray hair
on the senior tour. Great hair, great calves.
Yeah.
We'll see how good old Lefty does on the
Hopefully he holds up. He'll be playing for the seniors team. He'll win all the tournaments, and he's going to go back and try and win the U.S. Open and somehow not be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's the only tournament he hasn't won, was it? Was that one or the Open?
No, it's the U.S. He has 6 second-place finishes in the U.S. Open, so wow. I think that time is come and gone for him.
I think at that point I'd rather get the cut.
Yeah.
And news, Indy 500.
Yeah, Indy 500. If we have any racing listeners out there, it's biggest IndyCar race. It's one of the biggest races of the year for any kind of racing sport. Takuma Sato out of Japan winning his second Indy 500 in 4 years. A little bit of a controversial finish. It wasn't the most exciting race compared to the other ones. There's usually a lot of passing, and I mean the high speeds there make it like such a fun race to watch. But there was a crash with 5 laps to go, and they didn't. They like were on a yellow flag under caution, and they didn't stop the race to let them restart to have a crazy like 2-lap sprint to the finish. Which I mean everybody wanted that, but didn't happen. He won it under the caution flag. So Takuma Sato, congrats to the boy from Japan, 2-time winner. So yeah, there's a little bit of racing news for you.
All right. And then happy college football week.
Oh boy, FCS.
Austin Peay versus Central Arkansas. That's a big one.
Who do you got?
Oh, coming in with breaking news. They just fired Brett Brown.
Wow.
That's not a surprise.
We called that a half hour ago.
Yeah, so back to the NBA. They fired Brett Brown. Well deserving of it. I think it's time for probably like Tyronn Lue or someone like that.
Yeah.
He can hold his egos. But back to college football. Happy college football week. The last college football game we watched LSU beat up, and the first one we're going to watch is going to be Austin Peay versus Central Arkansas in an empty Alabama stadium. How miserable.
The Crimson Bowl in Montgomery. Let's go.
I mean, I would be absolutely miserable. That is.
That just sounds, I mean, no disrespect to the state of Alabama, but boy.
There's nothing there. You have the University of Alabama, you have Auburn. Like, what else do you have?
You just have Alabama, Auburn's pretty much.
You just have colleges. You don't have pro teams.
No, I mean they live and die college football there. So I mean they will find a way to play SEC football. They will play in an empty.
They'll play at high school stadiums.
They will play in Costco warehouses if they have to.
Yeah, they'll be like hike and just tackled right over on the Costco floor.
Yeah,
sucks to suck, but it's college
football. Who's your pick? You got Central Arkansas or Austin Peay?
I got Austin Peay.
You gotta go with the Governor. You have to go with the Governors. They're coming off a pretty solid season. I mean, the name too. I mean, it's just great.
Like, how could you not want them to win? How do you look at Central Arkansas and be like, this is a quality team? No, Austin Peay is a hell of a team. I predict them, assuming no other FCS schools are playing. I think they're gonna win a championship this year, mainly because no one else is playing.
Yeah, the FCS. They said I think for some conferences you're allowed to play non-conference games just because But they're like, I mean, I don't really see the point of playing any kind of. Why are you going to even play non-conference games you're playing for nothing?
Yeah, other than money, and you're usually getting a little bit of money here and there.
How much revenue is Central Arkansas and Austin Peay bringing in though? I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
Especially played in front of 0 fans in Alabama, none.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be terrible. Go college football, I guess. I don't know. I don't. Do I even watch the game? Like, is it really worth it?
I don't think. I think there's less than.
Like, I think there are better players.
I think it's the players' parents that are watching that game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are better players in high school football in Texas. Like,
yeah,
I could go there and watch that because they don't seem to stop. They don't care about COVID. They're like, we're gonna tackle COVID, and then we're gonna tackle COVID. But
yeah,
rep to college football. Go on.
Yeah. So wrapping up, definitely. So wrap up sports for the day. So there's our sports rundown. It was definitely a fun weekend and last few days of sports. And going to introduce a new segment for each episode. We decided we're going to do a top 5 list of just random topics. It might be sports related. It could be something in entertainment, whatnot. I mean, it just kind of whatever our great minds think of. So
our top 5 of this week. Yeah, we got drunkest NBA player in the bubble, most likely, and top 5 order to get drunk, play drunk, practice drunk, however maybe, roam around drunk in the bubble. Who's your top 5?
You want to go 1 to 5 or you want to go 5 to 1? What do you want to do?
We'll go 5 to 1.
You want to say like go back and forth or like?
Yeah, we'll do that. So My number 5 is Steven Adams, and simply because he has to play with CP3. For those of you that don't know, CP3 is like the NBA Players Association rat. He calls out, he's a snitching and all that. So rip Steven Adams, I would get drunk, and he's most likely to play drunk. Who's your number 5?
My number 5, Boban. Boban, baby. He looks like the ultimate. He looks like the ultimate just awesome guy to hang out with. There's a video of one of the Morris twins saying, "Man, you might be the nicest guy I've ever heard," and that's coming from one of the Morris twins.
Yeah.
Boban just, how can you not love him? I feel like he's like 7 foot a billion, and he's probably sipping strawberry daiquiris at the pool at Disney. That's what I could see. That's what I could see Boban doing.
He walks around, he's like, "I am Boban," and everyone's like, "You are Boban."
Exactly.
Number 4 for me, Carmelo Anthony. The dude can he's just gonna pull up to practice like drunk as hell. He's gonna shoot a 3 and he's gonna do like his little mellow thing, and he's just gonna walk away. But Carmelo Anthony's like drinking wine left and right. I mean, that might be the reason he's not the greatest shooter anymore. But so be it. You're on the Portland Trailblazers. You're out in the West. Go drink wine. Who's your number 4?
My number 4, the refs. The refs. God, some of the games. I mean, the refs have been terrible. I'm pretty sure some of the refs have gotten a little sip on Grandpa's old cough syrup before the games. Going back to that Clippers-Mavs game 1 when Kristaps Porzingis got ejected. I mean, it was the softest ejection in maybe NBA history. Would you say? I mean,
that was BS. There was no reason for him to be. Yeah.
Yeah, the refs they have not been great. So I think some of them have been getting drunk with the players or getting drunk on their own, whatever they do.
They're like, "Hey, LeBron." No wonder why LeBron always wins. Number 3 for me, CJ McCollum. I don't know if you guys heard the story. I don't know if you heard it too, but anyways, so the Portland Trailblazers were in their old hotel, and so they were moving from one hotel to the next, just because it was easier. And anyways, the staff moved all of the players' stuff. And the staff literally said it was like a wine cellar in there. Like the dude had 90 bottles of wine open, or he had a total of 90 bottles of wine. Is that why the Portland Trailblazers are down this series? CJ McCollum is practicing on his wine tasting instead of basketball.
I did not know that. I did not know he was. I didn't know he was alcoholic.
I mean, he might be, he might not. I don't know, but here he is drinking wine.
It's a lot of wine.
Who's your number 3?
Speaking of wine, number 3 is LeBron. I mean, he just anytime he's not playing basketball, I feel like he's drinking some $1,000 bottle of wine, or of course, he can afford it because he's worth it. I mean, he's worth billions of dollars.
LeBron.
So, yeah. I think he has
that Nike contract money.
I'm pretty sure he has his own wine company. Who knows? But yeah, LeBron. I mean, he definitely, I could see. I mean, him and he's got a gang of wine drinkers with D Wade and Chris Paul, Carmelo. They all. I think
banana boat crew.
Yeah, definitely. Who's your number 2?
Number 2, Jimmy Butler. For those of you that didn't know, when Jimmy Butler played on the Olympics team, when was the last time the Olympics actually happened? 2018 or 2016? It was 2016, right? In Rio?
16, yeah, in Rio.
Yeah, in 2016, the dude literally packed wine, in his suitcase, and just went off to Rio.
So I was gonna say, he's in this bubble for a couple months. He's packing, 2 suitcases full of wine.
He's like wine, basketball, Brazilian women, in that order. Yeah. He's like, there's no reason for me to go there other than that reason. Who's your number 2?
My number 2, a little bit. Maybe this might be a little bit of a surprise, maybe not. Joel Embiid. First of all, he plays in Philly, which is a shit franchise right now. They just fired their head coach. Just got swept by the Celtics. Avid fan of Shirley Temples. That Shirley Temples are his drink. I think he's definitely, he's probably left the bubble already, but I'm assuming when he was there battling through the Celtics series, he was just probably thinking, my goodness, why am I on this team?
Yeah. Yeah. And then we both have the same number 1, J.R.
Smith.
Now on the Lakers, dude didn't wear a shirt for a week. J.R. Smith.
I have 2 words for why he's my number 1, because obviously, there's just no other.
There's no other person that makes sense to be number 1 other than J.R. Smith.
Yeah, he's such a wild card. I mean, he's probably broken so many protocols with the bubble, inviting. I'm sure he's inviting women left and right to his room and whatnot. But he's a character. I think he's good for the game. I love to see these funny characters in the NBA. But yeah, we definitely agreed on our number one for drunkest players in the bubble. So
yeah, he's definitely the only number one that makes sense. I think. I mean, the dude probably has no shirt on. He's probably like drinking wine. Is this Gatorade? No, it's wine. LeBron will sip it. But yeah, that's our top 5. The drunkest NBA players are most likely to be drunk in the bubble.
Yeah, and
that pretty much sport podcast.
Yeah, that pretty much wraps up the show. We decided we're gonna release 2 episodes every week, so every Monday and Thursday at some point during the day. The episodes will be going on YouTube, so we'll be getting episode 2 out here later this evening. We're actually working on trying to get on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We got our 2 intelligent brains can't figure that out yet. Yeah. So we're still trying to.
We'll go with college student brains, and if that doesn't satisfy it, then like you should be helping us out. So F off.
Yeah. So we're definitely working on. Because I know a lot of people listen to podcasts on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I do. I'm sure you do too. I just think it'd be definitely a good way to reach out to more people. And another way to reach out to us is follow us on Twitter at Tag Sports, T_A_G Sports. We post some great content. Give you a little every couple of days or so. We like to kind of preview what's happening in the sports world, and we always announce when we're gonna drop an episode. So yeah.
So go ahead, follow us on Twitter. Comment on who your top 5 most likely be drunk in the bubble is.
Go comment on YouTube. Down below.
Yeah, so it's exciting, but happy Kobe Day.
Yeah, happy Kobe Day. Hope you guys have a good week and enjoy the playoffs this week. Series are going to wrap up, so yeah, good episode with you, Sam.
All right, perfect. Well, we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
See ya.
Yeah, bye.